Have you noticed something strange happening at cruise terminals lately? People show up with expensive luggage, matching packing cubes, brand new outfits, and suitcases that look like they were planned down to the last zipper. And then somehow, within the first few hours, everything starts falling apart. One person is digging through their bag at check-in because their documents are buried under 3 layers of clothes. Another is buying overpriced essentials on board because their suitcase hasn't reached the cabin yet. Someone else is limping through the first excursion because they packed stylish shoes instead of comfortable ones. Then come the dead phones, the wrong adapters, the missing medication, the bulky clothes nobody ends up wearing, and that quiet moment when people realize they packed for the cruise they imagined, not the cruise they're actually on. Because some of the most common cruise packing habits are setting passengers up for problems before the ship even leaves port. So today we're covering the 9 packing rules experienced cruisers follow before they zip up a single suitcase. And the final rule completely changes how veteran cruisers think about packing. Here's the mistake most people make. They pack for the ship. They imagine relaxing on deck, enjoying dinner, sitting in the lounge, and watching the scenery drift by. So their suitcase ends up filled with clothes, accessories, and items that sound useful in theory. Experienced cruisers think differently. They pack for long walking tours, changing weather, cobblestone streets, busy travel days, and the small inconveniences that can either make a trip effortless or surprisingly frustrating. That's why some people step on board feeling completely prepared, while others start realizing their mistakes before the cruise has even begun. Let's start with one of the biggest wastes of suitcase space on any cruise. Rule number 9, stop packing formal clothes. If you've never taken a river cruise before, there's a good chance you're about to pack at least 1 outfit you'll never wear, maybe 2, possibly 5. That's because a lot of people hear the word cruise and immediately picture formal nights, elegant dining rooms, and passengers dressed like they're attending a gala at sea. That image might have made sense years ago on some ocean cruises. It doesn't match the reality of most river cruises today. Modern river cruises are remarkably casual. During the day, most passengers are out exploring cities, walking through historic town centers, or joining excursions. By the time dinner arrives, people typically change into a collared shirt, a casual dress, nice slacks, or something similar. Comfortable and presentable is usually more than enough. The result is that first-time cruisers often dedicate an entire section of their suitcase to clothes that never leave the hangar. Suits, ties, formal dresses, dress shoes, items that take up valuable space and add unnecessary weight. Meanwhile, experienced cruisers pack differently. Instead of bringing clothes for 1 or 2 imagined formal evenings, they focus on versatile pieces that work almost anywhere. A smart casual outfit can handle dinner, a city stroll, or an evening drink on deck without taking up half a suitcase. And that's important because storage space on river cruise ships is usually more limited than many people expect. Every unnecessary item creates less room for the things you'll actually use. Unfortunately, wasted suitcase space is the least painful mistake on this list, because the next one can affect your cruise before you even reach your cabin. Rule number 8. Your carry-on should contain your entire first cruise day. Here's a mistake that catches people on their very first cruise day. They treat their carry-on like it's only for the journey. In reality, your carry-on should be packed as if it's the only bag you'll have access to for the first several hours of your vacation. Most first-time cruisers assume they'll board the ship, head to their cabin, unpack, and carry on with their day. Sometimes it works exactly like that, sometimes it doesn't. Cruise lines often collect larger suitcases at the terminal and deliver them to cabins later in the day. Depending on the ship, boarding time, and luggage volume, that can take several hours, which means there's a window where you're officially on vacation, but separated from everything important. Experienced cruisers prepare for this. Their carry-on contains everything they need to comfortably survive day 1. That includes medications, travel documents, phone chargers, valuables, sunglasses, and often a spare change of clothing. Some even pack swimwear if they plan on heading straight to the pool or spa. Think about it. If your suitcase doesn't arrive until late afternoon, do you still have everything you need? A surprising number of passengers discover the answer is no. They're searching for chargers, looking for medication, digging through backpacks for paperwork, or waiting impatiently for luggage that contains items they should have kept with them all along. The smartest cruisers don't view their carry-on as a travel bag. They view it as a backup plan. And that small shift eliminates a huge amount of first-day stress. Now imagine making it onto the ship with all your essentials, but being unable to comfortably walk by day 2. That's exactly why experienced cruisers obsess over this next rule. Rule number 7, the shoe rule. The fastest way to ruin a cruise is not always by packing the wrong clothes. Sometimes it's packing the wrong shoes. And river cruises are especially unforgiving about this. A lot of first-time cruisers hear the word cruise and imagine most of the vacation happening on board. They picture scenic sailing, relaxed meals, quiet lounges, and maybe a short stroll through town here and there. Then the first walking tour begins. Suddenly they're on cobblestone streets, uneven sidewalks, old staircases, historic town centers, castle paths, riverbanks, and city squares that were not built with modern comfort in mind. That cute pair of shoes that looked perfect at home starts feeling like a personal enemy by lunchtime. And once your feet are hurting, everything changes. You walk slower, you skip viewpoints, you sit out optional tours, you start looking for benches instead of scenery. The worst part is that blisters don't politely disappear overnight just because the ship moved to a new city. They follow you into the next port. That's why experienced cruisers care less about how shoes look and more about whether they can survive 5 straight days of walking. Bring comfortable, broken-in walking shoes with cushioning and a sturdy sole. Not brand new shoes. Not, they'll be fine after a few hours, shoes. Real walking shoes you already trust. Because bad shoes don't ruin the first day. They ruin every day after it. And once you've solved the shoe problem, another packing mistake starts showing up. Rule number 6, pack layers, not outfits. One of the biggest packing mistakes starts before the suitcase is even closed. People try to pack complete outfits. Monday outfit, Tuesday outfit, Wednesday outfit, Thursday outfit. It sounds organized. It sounds smart. Until Europe decides to ignore your plans. Because European weather has a habit of doing whatever it wants. You can leave the ship on a cool morning wearing a light jacket, spend the afternoon in warm sunshine, and find yourself reaching for an umbrella before dinner. And that's not unusual. Many first-time cruisers learn this the hard way. They pack clothing around a schedule instead of packing for changing conditions. The result is predictable. They're too cold in the morning, too warm in the afternoon, or caught in unexpected rain wearing the exact outfit they carefully planned 3 months earlier. Experienced cruisers take a different approach. Instead of packing individual outfits, they build layers. A lightweight shirt, a thin fleece or sweater, a light waterproof jacket, items that can be added or removed throughout the day without turning the suitcase into a giant storage container. This approach works particularly well during spring and fall, when temperatures can swing dramatically over the course of a single day. And it usually means packing less, not more. That's the part many people miss. The goal isn't filling your suitcase with extra clothing. The goal is making a smaller number of items work in more situations. The smartest cruisers don't pack more clothing. They pack more flexibility. And flexibility becomes even more important when your phone is about to die. Rule number 5, the adapter. Few cruise mistakes are more frustrating than standing in a cabin surrounded by outlets you cannot actually use. That is exactly what happens to a surprising number of travelers in Europe. They arrive, unpack, pull out their charger, look at the wall, and realize the plug does not fit. Most people assume a cruise cabin will work like a hotel room at home. You plug in your phone, charge your camera, power your tablet, and move on. But different cruise lines use different outlet setups. Viking ships often include US outlets and USB ports for North American travelers, while other river cruise lines may rely more heavily on European sockets. And the ship is only part of the problem. You might need to charge your phone at the airport, in a pre-cruise hotel, at a cafe, or in a train station before or after you're sailing. That is where a small universal adapter becomes one of the smartest items in your bag. It takes up almost no space, but it saves you from hunting through airport shops or paying inflated prices for something you should have packed at home. Bring one with multiple USB ports if possible, because the device list adds up quickly. Phone, camera, tablet, e-reader, smartwatch, portable charger. Once the wrong plug gets between you and every device you rely on, the trip gets annoying fast. Dead batteries are annoying. Losing your valuables is something else entirely. Which brings us to the rule many travelers only learn after arriving in Europe. Rule number 4. The day bag. Rule for most travelers, choosing a day bag is an afterthought. They spend weeks researching cruise lines, cabins, excursions, and flights. Then grab whatever backpack or shoulder bag happens to be sitting in the closet. That is usually where the mistake begins. Once your cruise starts, that bag becomes one of the most important items you carry. You will use it in busy city centers, train stations, public squares, Christmas markets, and crowded attractions where tourists naturally gather. Those same places also attract pickpockets. This is not a reason to be paranoid. Millions of people visit European cities every year without a problem. But experienced travelers know that convenience and security are not always the same thing. An open tote bag might feel easy. A backpack with loose outer pockets might seem practical. A shoulder bag hanging loosely at your side might feel harmless. But all of them are easier for someone else to access. That is why seasoned cruisers often choose crossbody bags, zippered compartments, and bags that stay close to the body throughout the day. Not because they expect trouble, because they remove unnecessary risk before it becomes a problem. The goal is not to turn sightseeing into a security exercise. The goal is to avoid becoming the easiest target in a crowded place. A lost wallet can ruin an afternoon. A lost phone can ruin several days. A lost passport can create a problem that follows you long after the cruise ends. The smartest travelers carry only what they need and keep it secure. The good news is most thefts are preventable. The bad news is the next mistake can affect your health. And this is where cruise packing stops being inconvenient and starts becoming important. Rule number 3, the medication rule. Let's talk about the item that should never be buried inside your main suitcase: medication. Yet people do it all the time. They treat it like another item on the packing list, toss it into the checked luggage, zip everything closed, and assume they'll deal with it when they reach the cabin. That sounds harmless until the timing goes wrong. Your luggage arrives later than expected. Your flight gets delayed. You join a long excursion and realize the medication you need is back on the ship. Or you're in a small European town where replacing the exact item is not as simple as walking into the nearest pharmacy and asking for the same brand. This is one of those packing mistakes that feels minor right up until it becomes serious. A forgotten shirt is annoying. A misplaced charger is frustrating. Medication is different. Seasoned travelers have a simple rule. If it's important enough to need every day, it stays with you. That means keeping prescriptions in your carry-on, day bag, or another secure place that never leaves your control. Many travelers also use a medication organizer, so everything is easy to access without digging through bags every morning. And this does not only apply to prescriptions. Motion sickness remedies, pain relievers, allergy medication, stomach medicine, and any other essentials should be available when you need them, not locked away somewhere else. The goal is simple. If you're separated from your suitcase for several hours, or even an entire day, nothing important should be separated from you. A lot of cruise packing mistakes create inconvenience. This one can create real problems. Seasoned travelers have a simple rule. If it's important enough to need every day, it stays with you. If you've been packing for river cruises the same way you pack for ocean cruises, this next rule is where everything changes. Rule number 2, stop packing like an ocean cruiser. This might be the mistake behind almost every other mistake in the video. A lot of first-time river cruisers assume a cruise is a cruise. They've taken ocean cruises before, so they bring the same habits with them. Larger suitcases, extra outfits, more shoes, more evening clothes, more just-in-case items for life on board. Then they step onto a river ship and realize this is a completely different kind of vacation. The cabins are usually smaller. Storage space is often tighter. There are no formal nights demanding special outfits. Most days are built around walking tours, historic towns, local markets, museums, churches, castles, and excursions. In many ways, a river cruise feels less like a traditional cruise and more like a guided European tour that happens to move by water. That is where overpacking starts becoming obvious. The suitcase fills the cabin, the closet gets crowded, the extra shoes never leave the floor. And the things people actually use every day are usually much simpler. Comfortable walking shoes, layered clothing, a secure day bag, a charger, a jacket, and a few versatile outfits will often do more for your trip than half the extra items first-timers bring. That is why seasoned river cruisers often travel lighter. They know every unnecessary item takes up space, creates clutter, and makes airports, train stations, hotels, and cabins harder to manage. The goal is not packing more. The goal is packing better. Once you stop treating a river cruise like an ocean cruise, your entire packing strategy changes. You carry less, move easier, and spend less time managing luggage. That realization leads directly to the most important packing rule of all, because once you understand this, everything else suddenly makes sense. Rule number 1, pack for the excursions, not the ship. Everything we've covered so far leads to this, the rule that quietly separates first-time river cruisers from people who know exactly what they're doing. Most travelers book a river cruise and immediately picture the ship, the cabin, the restaurant, the lounge, the sun deck, the view from the window. That makes sense because that's what the brochures show. So they pack for the ship. But seasoned river cruisers see the vacation differently. They don't think, I'm taking a cruise. They think, I'm taking a land tour with a floating hotel. That one mindset shift changes the entire suitcase. Because think about how your days are actually spent. You're walking through medieval town centers, exploring castles, visiting cathedrals, cycling through vineyards, browsing local markets, joining guided tours, sitting in cafes, and wandering streets that existed long before cruise ships ever showed up. The ship is where you sleep. The destinations are why you came. That means the most important items in your suitcase are often the ones that make your time ashore easier. Comfortable shoes, layered clothing, a secure day bag, weather protection, chargers, medication. The same things we've been talking about this entire time. This is why some first-time cruisers come home, wondering why they packed so many clothes they never wore. They packed for life on board. The real trip was happening on shore. Once that clicks, everything gets simpler. You stop building your suitcase around dinner. You start building it around the experiences you'll actually remember. Because years later, nobody talks about the sweater hanging untouched in the cabin closet. They talk about the castle they climbed, the village they explored, the market they found by accident, and the afternoon they spent wandering through a city they had only seen in photographs. The smartest river cruisers don't pack for the cabin. They pack for the cities waiting outside it. And once you start thinking that way, every rule on this list suddenly makes perfect sense. Most cruise packing mistakes are avoidable. That's the good news. The bad news is that most people only realize what they packed wrong after the trip has already started. Most packing disasters don't come from one huge mistake. They come from small decisions that seemed harmless at home. The wrong shoes, the missing adapter, the carry-on without essentials, the day bag that looked fine until you reached a crowded square. Now I want to hear from you. Which rule surprised you most? And what is one item you never cruise without? Drop it in the comments because your tip might save another cruiser from making the same mistake. If you're planning a European river cruise, you'll also want to watch our guide to the biggest mistakes first-time river cruisers make, because some of them start long before you ever begin packing.